Now here's a thought. What would happen if the Homepride flour graders went into a bag of ordinary flour? First, they'd throw out all the ungraded grains. Then they'd throw out all the flour that still wasn't smooth and fine. And when they'd finished, it would be just as fine as Homepride. What was left? Because all that's left would be graded grains. And as any flour grader knows, it takes graded grains to make finer flour. I'm a Homepride flour grader, and I'd like to tell you about Homepride. You see, we sift and grade every grain till all the lumps are gone and the flour feels smooth and fine. And that's when we call it Homepride, because it's the only flour that grades every grain, because graded grains make finer flour.
Psst.
What?
You've still got 10 seconds. Go on, do something.
If you were the only girl in the world,
What?
and I were the only boy, nothing else would matter in the world today. We could go on loving. Jeremy, do you want to see what a Homepride flour grader does all day?
Oh, yes, please, Dad.
All right, well, just watch this bag of ordinary flour turn into Homepride. First, we throw out all the lumps. Then every grain is carefully graded. And finally, when all the flour feels smooth and fine, that's when it's
Homepride.
good. And Homepride is
The only flour that grades every grain because graded grains make finer flour.
very good. Now, what do you want to be when you grow up?
A fireman.
Some of you doubting Thomases out there don't believe Homepride is smoother and finer than any other flour. Well, we're going to prove it is. First, my associate will stand under this giant sieve filled with ordinary flour. See how slowly it falls through. Too coarse, too lumpy, not fine enough. But when I stand under the same sieve filled with Homepride, need I say more? Homepride, the only flour that grades every grain, because graded grains make finer flour.
And now, a Homepride flour grader will attempt to dive 90 feet into a bag of ordinary flour.
Oh, no. It must be Homepride.
Why do you insist on Homepride?
Well, Homepride throws out all the lumps to make it finer and smoother. And you can really feel the difference. You see? Graded grains do make finer flour.
Did you ever use any other flour but Homepride?
Once,
What happened?
it gave me a shocking headache. Mrs. Alice Maynard has just phoned to suggest a faster way to make Homepride. Well, we'll try anything once. Oh, well. Thanks anyway, Mrs. Maynard. But I think we'll just carry on throwing out every lump and grading every grain in the usual way. Then we'll be sure it's Homepride, the only flour that grades every grain, because graded grains make finer flour. Still, if you should have any more useful suggestions, don't call us. We'll call you. Because of your increasing demand for Homepride, the Homepride flour graders are now working a night shift. Every night they go to work in a big bag of ordinary flour. And just like the daytime flour graders, they grade all the grains, throw out all the lumps, and make absolutely sure all the flour is smooth and fine. Of course, working nights does pose a few problems, but we think Homepride's worth it. After all, it's the only flour that grades every grain, because graded grains make finer flour. And now, let's sing along with the Homepride flour graders.
Graded grains make finer flour, Homepride, Homepride. Graded grains make finer flour, that's what we all say. Going to grade all night, going to grade all day.
Gonna grade those grains till the flour feels fine.
That's the Homepride way. Homepride, 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 yeah!
If you invite the Homepride flour graders to a party, you'll find their favorite game is Hunt the Lump, and it's played in a bag of ordinary flour. In go the flour graders, out go the lumps. And there you have it, Homepride, the only flour that grades every grain, because graded grains make finer flour. Ladies and gentlemen, for some time now, we flour graders have been telling you how we make Homepride, how we start with ordinary flour, how we destroy all the lumps, how we throw out all the ungraded grains and all the flour that isn't smooth and fine, and how we end up with Homepride, the only flour that grades every grain, because graded grains make finer flour. Well, now that we've told you, it seems that everybody wants Homepride. And nobody wants the lumps.